All right, cutting across to some more big news coming in. The Supreme Court's landmark judgment on termination of pregnancy. The Supreme Court, basically abortion law, Supreme Court has stated that there is no reason to restrict the provision of abortion only to married women. In fact, abortion has now been allowed until 24 weeks of pregnancy, and no distinction will be made between married or unmarried women. But importantly, the Supreme Court also says that rape will also be included as marital rape. It will be included in if at all there is rape that happens in marriage, it will be considered as marital rape. Supreme Court has now granted interim relief to the 25-year-old petitioner who was unmarried and was denied permission by the Delhi High Court to terminate her 24-week pregnancy, subject to an AIIMS medical concluding that fetus can be aborted without the risk to the life of a woman.
Today is a special day because today is International Safe Abortion Day, and the passing of this judgment on this day in itself is a remarkable and historical in itself, not only for India but for the rest of the world also. Now the discrimination that has been eliminated by the Honorable Supreme Court today, the violation which was prevailing between married and unmarried of Article 14, Article 21, it is eliminated now completely.
One step ahead, given the fact that marital rape is now being considered by the Supreme Court. So we now know what is going to come out from the judges. So I'm sure they are going to criminalize marital rape, but it's not for me to say that. But I strongly feel that yes, it is a wonderful judgment, and their lordships have not only gone into unmarried or married women, they have gone into the violence being inflicted by the men on the mental thing. You know, you cannot force it, whether it's force, coercion, pestering, whatever it is. A woman has the right. She has a complete autonomy and independence over her body.
From an abusive marriage, a woman may not want to bear a child, and it is for her to decide if she wants to continue with this pregnancy or not. So for women especially, I mean, the most notable part of this judgment today is that this is entirely right-based. They've given you a rights perspective rather than administrative or a medical perspective.
Thanks now to the SC, and yes, the government must put into place all the administrative structures that are required for the execution of this particular verdict.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने एक बहुत ही अच्छा निर्णय दिया है, बहुत प्रोग्रेसिव निर्णय दिया है कि कोई भी महिला अगर वो अपना अबॉर्शन करवाना चाहे तो वो करवा सकती है। मैं ये मानती हूं कि ये बहुत ही ज्यादा प्रोग्रेसिव निर्णय है और दिल्ली महिला आयोग इसका पूरी तरीके से स्वागत करता है। अभी कुछ समय पहले ही हमने देखा था कि कैसे यूएस की सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये कहा था कि महिलाओं को अबॉर्शन की कोई आजादी नहीं है। तो इस परिप्रेक्ष्य में अगर देखा जाए तो हमारे देश के सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने एक बहुत अच्छा, बहुत प्रोग्रेसिव निर्णय लिया है।
The 5 major takeaways from the judgment will be: first, it actually recognizes the reproductive rights of the women. Second, it has broken the ceiling between married and unmarried women. Thirdly, it certainly talks about the problems that women had to face in the where the concept of marital rape comes. So what about those women and those sufferings that women go through? Then it also talks about the consent of the women in terminating the pregnancy where they have a consensual relationship. So before the marriage, then the idea of live-in relationship it talks about. And lastly, this judgment considers the aspect of the women with respect to Article 14 and says that the reproductive right, it should be acknowledged and it should be accepted under Article 14 of the Constitution, which talks about right to equality.
So this is a very big first step towards marital rape, making it legal, So we are happy that at least Supreme Court could acknowledge that there is a problem existing, and even if, they were not very much keen to make marital rape legal, but at least they have taken this step where the women can choose to keep the child or to abort the child with her wish in case there is a marital rape happening. So I think it's a very big step. It is a history now in making, and I'm pretty sure that in future they will acknowledge the fact of marital rape also.